Hi guys, and welcome back to World's Best Gardens. This week we're looking at Huntington Gardens, and they were created by Henry Huntington. The Huntington is in California basically, and it's in San Marino, and the cost is about $29 to get in, which you can pay online, and it's not open Tuesdays. So Henry Huntington worked for his uncle Collis Potter Huntington, who was one of the big four railroad people, and later he married Arabella Huntington, and the uncle's money and then was inherited to both of them, and Henry built this mansion, and later he married Arabella, who was initially married to Collis, if that all makes sense. So yeah, it was a second marriage. So the gardens themselves, you're looking around about 207 acres, with about 130 acres that are in gardens. So some beautiful looking grapes. I was tempted to have one of those grapes, but I don't think you were supposed to. So it's really, really nicely set out. So along the paths, we're going to head off now, and I'll take you on a tour around the garden. So lots of nice little sculptures that are set up, and lots of nice planting combinations along the way, so you can sort of pick up little tips of what looks good together. And it's quite an extensive place. They get quite a few visitors annually, so around about 700 visitors visit the gardens, and it's used by scholars and botanists and just people wanting a day out and wandering around a beautiful garden. And there's a lot to see, so you won't get to see it all in one go. We spent about 3 hours here walking around, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is the conservatory. It's like pretty much a glass house for subtropical plants, and they were doing various studies on certain plants, and it was quite hot in here. Because it's like kind of hot outside, and well, kind of not hot, too hot, but inside here definitely hot. So we've got lots of different plants, beautiful orchids, and now we're going to head off to what I thought was one of the main features of the whole gardens. So lots of which is the Chinese garden, which we're going to come up to. So lots of plants on the way, like that's a buddleia, so a dwarf buddleia. And lots of grasses that seem to do really well in the Californian temperatures. This one is a crepe myrtle, Lagostromia. And as we go now, we're just going to circle the Chinese garden, because that's where we're heading now. And this is a bit of the sort of Chinese garden at the top, where they've got sort of various herbs and medicinal Chinese herbs. And this garden, it was done in stages from the early 2000s, and cost around about $53 million to complete, which is a fair amount. But when you look at the detail and the authenticity, you can sort of see where the money goes. And a lot of the money was donated by different organizations and different people. So a lot of the artwork, stonework, buildings was done by like the authentic Chinese people from Shanghai, who were incorporated to do all of this. And so when you're walking around, it does have a very real Chinese feel to it. It's just quite cool. It doesn't look like a cheap project. I mean, even all these particular limestone sculptures, very authentic and very Chinese looking. So yeah, opened up into the public in the sort of like the later about 2000 sort of 10, something like that, about 2008. It was opened to the public. So yes, on their deaths, Arabella and Henry Huntington, they donated all these gardens to the public of California, which was quite an amazing thing to do. So now we're going to have a look at the Japanese garden, and the Japanese garden was set off in the early 1900s. Of course, Henry bought this property in 1900 when he got his inheritance from his uncle when he died, and so did Arabella. And so later they did marry, and they then joined forces. She was very much an art collector, and when they married, which they got married in Paris, they both then worked on this gardens together and lived here. So this Japanese garden is full of it's maples. The picture we're going to come up to at the moment, coming up close, is the Moon Bridge. So let's have a look. We're going to just pan around now to the left. That's the Moon Bridge, and it's been a very popular feature. As you can see, you can't walk over it. It's sort of sealed off. And then you can see some of the water is a little bit greener looking. That just indicates that that water is getting a little bit too much sun, and it's promoting algal growth. And it could also be the fish in there too. So basically you need a lot more water lease to help prevent that. So a lot of these, we're coming up now to the rose garden. A lot of these pergolas that you'll see, like that one just before, that's actually, and this one here, you can see that there, it looks like actually a tree on the side there, but that is just like a concrete, it's a concrete sort of, to make it look like a tree, which I thought was quite cool. I had to sort of tap it just to make sure it was concrete. So yes, this is the rose garden. This is one of Arabella's projects, and I believe there's somewhere around about 1,500 species, different species of roses in there, which seems like a lot, but I guess it's such a big garden. I mean, roses are very popular with people, and I do think you can't beat the smell and the look of the flowers. So again, it'd be a popular place for people to go. You can see it's a bright sunny day, so you kind of do look around for places for a little bit of shade. And this is becoming now into the herb garden and some beautiful looking sunflowers. So the Huntington is not just about botanical gardens. It does have big collections of art and history and books and library books. So it is a all-round, if you're interested in different in that as well, you've got that to go and have a look at. We didn't have time to look in the libraries or into some of these other places, but obviously I was there just to mainly look at the plants. This one I thought looked amazing. That was a cranberry crush hibiscus. So this is the art gallery. And if you're interested in art, that would be obviously the place to go. You can see how extensive the gardens are if you can look out into the distance. This is the subtropical garden. Not sure what was going on here. This was like a little place where they were doing sort of like educational sort of stuff, which was quite interesting. And then this one here is the this must be the library. Yeah, so this is a really, really big library, built in 1920. You can imagine the sort of books that they've got in there. Henry used to just buy huge, like really, really old books that, and he didn't mind, spending huge amounts of money on buying them. Okay, guys, we're just going to finish off the video. This is the desert garden, and these are obviously a lot of the plants that are really adapted to the conditions in California, being a little bit sort of drier. And a huge collection of different cactuses in there, over 2,000 species of succulents alone, and this was established in 1907, around about 10 acres, covering about 10 acres just in cactuses and succulents. Okay, guys, we're going to leave it there. We're going to, usually as I end up, after walking around, we end up in a restaurant. There's two good restaurants here, a more expensive one and this one here that we went to, which was a little bit cheaper, and the other one you have to book. I'll leave you with a few snapshots, but this was definitely a great day out and a really well worthwhile visit to the gardens at Huntington, and would thoroughly recommend it to go and have a look at these gardens. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next video.